So, you have a secret you want to tell me about the people we're meeting today, right?
First, I have to say that you look so good, but you are not on the spotlight today.
Oh, I'm so jealous already. Okay, I'm ready to meet them.
Welcome our guests. Hi, how are you? How are you doing? Can you introduce yourself to the audiences?
My name is Aris. I am 29 years old.
Don't look it at all.
I'm from Dominican Republic originally, but I grew up in Antwerp, Belgium. I'm a designer and model, I guess.
Go.
Yeah.
I don't dance, I work. I don't play, I slay. Hips, my nails, hair, hips, heels, nails, hair, hips.
That's why you should be shouting.
Hi, I'm Kane, I'm 30, I'm older than her by 1 year, and a photographer. And
I'm a photographer.
And first thing I got a message from my mother that said, "You are dead to me. And if I die, don't come to my funeral." And for me, that was it.
I want a boyfriend like that too. Where did you find him?
Here in Vietnam. Yeah, he found me.
Well, I stole her hat, and then I ran after her, and then...
So that's how they met.
Our show about LGBT community, and this couple is just what is related to our
Yeah,
show.
you guys look really like
about this
a perfect couple right now.
Yeah.
I think for us, mainly it was that my first sexual experience was with a girl, and it was interesting to talk about queer culture with Kane because I identify as I fall in love with whoever I fall in love with.
Oh.
I don't necessarily I'm not full on gay or lesbian or even I don't see myself as bisexual. I see myself more as whoever attracts you. That's the person you fall in love with.
Pansexual, isn't it?
Queer.
Queer.
It says that it's queer, right?
Yeah. So I'm queer. I deserve to be here.
Yeah, good reason. So how about Kane?
No, I
straight?
Yeah, I'm straight, and unlike Aris, I didn't grow up with any LGBT community or any. I had one gay friend, and that was it. And it was interesting when we first got together because then she was showed me stuff like RuPaul's Drag Race and opened up a whole area, a whole subculture I'd never really been embraced with.
And you did. Where's the temptation? They love him. They love him. The gay guys.
Really?
Yeah. They'll be like, "Oh, Kane."
Kane, come here.
Yeah. I think he loves it too because he's always like, "Oh."
Well, now I started
Yeah, they love me.
filming a video with Aris about her becoming a drag queen. So I've been involved a lot more within the gay community in Vietnam.
How long you both live in Vietnam?
In total, I've been living in Vietnam for 4 years. I used to live here 3 years, and then I moved to Thailand, and I lived here 3 years, and then I came back, and I've been here for 1 year now.
How about?
Yeah, I lived here 1 year before I met Aris.
Did you know about your sweetheart sexuality when you first met?
No, when we first met, Aris was really hard to talk to. Aris wouldn't speak a lot about her emotions. She would be very guarded. And then after a few years went by, she started opening up a lot more and talking about her past. And then she told me a lot about her childhood. And then she came out about that. And
because I was so introverted at the time, I went through a lot of depression because my upbringing was really abusive, very emotionally abusive and stuff. And then I started to talk to him because we had gone back to Belgium and visited my family, and then when we left, there was drama again, and I was kind of tired. And I said, I just wanna feel confident enough to go outside. When I spoke to him about my first sexual experience, I was I was really young. I was in boarding school at the time. I was really young, no one, and I was in my own kind of confused. And when I became older, I had all my queer friends. Still, I didn't. Because to me it was oh, you have to be a lesbian, and I'm not full lesbian, so I don't know what's going on.
You don't really know what you all fit in, right?
I still didn't really speak about it, but I relate more with queer people, so they kind of became my family. Afterwards, when they were gone, I was very lonely. I was but where do I belong? And if I can't relate to my own family, who am I?
Yeah. And through all of this, you stuck by her.
Yeah, I'm straight.
That's great. Was it difficult for you being the supportive boyfriend?
Well, Iris is also like extremely supportive of what I want to do as well, and me opening up as well. So Iris is like, I think it's a give and take 100%. But there was a period that was difficult when Iris wouldn't leave the house for, I think it was nearly 2 months or something. It was about when you initially got the text back, and then it was just kind of like.
Yeah, that was like my darkest time.
Yeah, there was a period that was really hard, and I had to get food, but like bit by bit, and now, flourished into this colourful fucking unicorn. What's this?
That's thing, and then they turn into a butterfly.
A thing caterpillar.
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 Yes, I was a caterpillar in my cocoon, and now I get to be a butterfly.
Oh.
It's a lot more fun. You can fly around and stuff.
So what, if I may ask, what was the whole childhood thing about? Like what happened?
For a long time, I actually had like a anger inside of me, because mine comes mostly from my mother, my grandmother. She had my mother when she was 13 years old. She was also kicked out of her house because she got pregnant so young. So she was stuck with a child, and she kind of turned her anger towards my mother. And then she ended up having like 8 more kids or whatever in Dominican Republic. So my mother grew up kind of,
Angry woman.
Yeah, angry. And she moved out of the house when she was 16 because she got pregnant with my brother. And then the chain of destruction just continues.
So you have an older brother?
I have 3 more siblings, and it's very like hard because I talk to one of them now because of my family situation. I think kind of like in Vietnamese culture, in Dominican culture is the same, like you stick to your family and you don't question your parents, you don't question the structure. But in my case, it was either I question it or I literally kill myself because I was going to like severe suicidal thoughts. And I was like, I can't, like.
When was that? Like what age?
It was 4 years ago.
So the childhood, did you go to school in Dominican?
I lived in the Dominican Republic until I was 6 years old. And then my mother was already living in Belgium because she got married and she, moved to Belgium, and she brought us over then, me and my 2 brothers. I was in boarding school until I was like 13 years old. It's weird because I didn't grow up with my mother. I stayed with my grandmother. Really traumatizing because my grandmother still has a lot of issues, and my brother is half white and half black. So she would treat my brother better because he was lighter skinned and would treat us.
Racism from your own family?
Yeah, because my grandmother is half white, half black. And she got pregnant by a black man. So I think she kind of has hate for it because it's like, got pregnant with you and you stole my childhood. And when I, because I was going through this depression, I'm like, why am I depressed? Why do I always feel like this? And then I always talk to him, and he always wanted the best for me. He's like, come out, let's go do things, and I'm always like inside the house, just like, I don't feel like anything. I don't want to do anything. I just want to kind of disappear. And then after I educated myself, I got a tattoo, like a little tattoo, my only tattoo. Yeah. And it says, I'm singing in the rain. When I got that tattoo, I posted it on social media. And first thing, I got a message from my mother that said, you are dead to me. And if I die, don't come to my funeral. And for me, that was it. So she said, because if you can't drink alcohol before you're 28 years old, because she drank when she was 28, and you can't get tattoos, you can't get piercings. For me, it's like, that's a form of self-expression. And I wanted, I had just realized like, oh, it's not me, it's this trauma system. And I said, you're literally stabbing my heart.
And how can you deal with it?
For me, it was just like, either I jump off a bridge, or, okay, I'm dead to you, I love you because you're my mother, but now I realize this is your problem. This is not my problem, because this tattoo represents something different to me. It represents my freedom and me taking my life back. And then I cut all contact. I went block. on social media, and I told him I blocked her. I don't want anything to do with it, and I'm gonna try and live a good life for me.
That is 100% what you should do.
But it's hard. You know, it sounds beautiful in theory, but I've been working on myself for 4 years, and I feel like I've only like made a little progress.
It is interesting when we look back at like the tattoo was literally the full stop of like, okay, no contact anymore. Like Iris would tell me about her upbringing, and then the tattoo and then the message was literally like, okay, like she's done. It's hard after that for you, I think, but then after that you just skyrocketed.
In my family structure, it was like, how dare she block her mother? How dare she, you know, put like
cut the
contact.
connection.
Yes, how dare she? You don't do that to your mother.
Yeah.
But nobody stopped and thought, but how do you feel? You know, how do you feel? The last contact I had with all my family members was, why aren't you talking to your mother? Everybody's basically coming at me when all I did was defend myself. I didn't say anything bad to her. I didn't, you know, and I was like, well then, until you guys fix yourself and you understand that we all have a right to a voice, then I can't talk to you either. So I was like, I deleted the group chat, and I just decided I wanna see where my life can go. After like I caught contact with my family, I made a video, my first ever YouTube video, and I just put on the camera and I was like, I need to just let it out. I need to talk, and I was just like this. And I just talked forever, and I cried. I was like, I'm not gonna stop the camera because I need to let something out. And I let it out, I posted it, and then I had a lot of girls that talked to me like, oh, I have the same, like you, like breaking that cycle made me actually feel like I'm not disconnected. There's a lot of people like me.
There's a lot of people like us, man.
Yeah.
Thinking about your childhood, what were some key points that you could distinguish as being the most difficult things to get over?
For me, like going outside is really weird. But if I didn't have him with me, or I wasn't with a group of friends, just leaving the house for me was terrifying.
Why?
Because I always felt judged by people. You know, I felt like everybody was looking at me, and I was like, I don't want people to see me. I don't want. When you have 20+ years of somebody tell you, don't wear this, don't do that, don't do that. And also like the way I was brought up, my mother used to always tell me, you have no personality, you just copy your friends.
What?
What the hell?
So I always felt like, maybe I am.
You don't have, oh, I'm so sorry. Take a second, don't worry.
But
It's okay to cry it all out.
I've cried enough. Yeah, so it was really hard because, I think had I not met him, I don't know where I would be. I really don't.
We kind of like cross paths at the right point, really.
Have you ever have a like serious conversation with your mom about your sexuality before?
I never had the chance. Now I think of all the things that I wish I had with my mother. Like, I wish I had the conversation about sexuality. I wish I could ask her questions about, like, you know, like, oh, if I like a girl, that's like, you know.